Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. In Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 7, we find these words. A man of quick temper acts foolishly, and a man of evil devices is hated. You know, many of us act with quick temper. We make excuses for it. I've heard people say, well, I can't help being hot-tempered. It's because I've red hair. But you know what? I watched those people get old and go bald till they didn't have red hair anymore and they were still hot-tempered. I've heard people say, well, it's because I'm Irish. Being hot-tempered is nothing to do with your nationality. We need to learn to control ourselves. And in order to control ourselves, we need to control our tempers. It's said about Abraham Lincoln that after he was assassinated and they were putting all his affairs into order, they went into his office and there was a desk there and it was a locked drawer in his desk. And when they managed to open this drawer, they discovered that it was full of letters. And they were letters that he had written after somebody else had annoyed him, all to different people. But what had happened was every time somebody annoyed him, he would sit down at his desk and he would write a bad-tempered letter to them and let rip at how he felt. And then he would put the letter in the drawer and lock the drawer and go home for the day. And when he came back in the next morning, he would take those letters out, he would read them again, and occasionally he would still send a letter if somebody really did deserve a rebuke. But most times he would put them back in the drawer and lock the drawer again. And so by the end of his life, this drawer was packed full of letters, angry letters that he had written, but never sent. There's a lesson there for us. That, you know, you don't have to react to something right away. Now, occasionally you do. You know, if you're driving a car and it starts, you know, you haven't put the handbrake on and you're falling over a cliff, you need to act right away and put the handbrake on. So there are times you got to act right away. But most situations are not like that. I've discovered that most situations that I face, it'll wait till tomorrow. And I've learned this. There's 3 things I need to do to control my temper. Not just to control my temper, because the proverb goes on to say, a man of quick temper acts foolishly, and a man of evil devices is hated. Because there's another problem that's even worse than losing your temper and responding quickly, and that is when you allow a bitterness to take root in your heart, and you then begin to plot revenge against the person. And that's a dangerous thing, and that will actually end up harming you more than you can ever harm the other person. So I've learned to do 3 things whenever somebody has annoyed me. First of all, I go home and I rest. I go home, I have something to eat, I sit, I chat with my wife, I spend quality time with her and get a good night's sleep, and then look at the situation again in the morning. Because I've discovered that the worst decisions I've ever made in my life have been those decisions I made where I was tired, where I was stressed, where I was angry, where I was depressed, or whatever else. Whenever I'm in those kind of places, I don't make good decisions. And so I've learned not to make decisions when I'm feeling like that. Go home, have a good rest. Then I pray, because when I pray, I see myself as God sees me, and I realize that maybe the offense that somebody else committed against me is nowhere near as big as the offenses that I have committed against Almighty God. But God has forgiven us. Forgive us this day, Lord, our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And so I've learned that rather than acting foolishly and rather than being evil by plotting revenge against somebody, I need to pray and look at my own life and look at my own past history. And then I learn to forgive, because forgiveness is powerful. Because if you carry unforgiveness in your hearts, it will hurt you more than it hurts the person you're angry at. So I need to go home, I need to rest, I need to pray, I need to forgive. Now sometimes then I still need to have to deal with the situation. Sometimes I need to address it. Sometimes I do need to write somebody a letter or make a phone call or have a hard conversation with somebody. I don't enjoy that, but it's something you have to do sometimes. But first of all, I rest. I pray and I forgive, because a man of quick temper acts foolishly and a man of evil devices is hated. God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.